All right, we are live with Robert Racek, and this is the Please Know Show, the Doodle Podcast, the Multiverse expert. Say hello, Robert Racek.
Hello, Robert Racek.
There you go.
Hello. Sorry.
Um, so we're here, we're live. We're going to be chatting for a little bit, and
The
yeah. So the
doodling.
doodling. So that's I feel like doodling is a good theme because, like, in a way, we're also doodling in terms of audio. Our conversation is doodling.
I don't know. I guess so. I can think of better words than doodling.
What would be
Like
a better word?
meandering.
Meandering. Well, there you go.
I think that's a better word, but doodling is definitely works for your markers and your marking pens. We're reminiscing and creating and bringing forth ideas that other people might not have
We will.
have already had and dismissed because we're not educated, maybe.
So
I don't
you're
know.
so you're saying that it would be reasonable for this to be a life-changing experience that will expand your mind and reinvent your consciousness if you watch.
If, and listen, I think if you just watch without volume,
Oh
it
well,
probably wouldn't.
that's a detail.
I
That's
mean,
the semantics.
your doodle could change people's minds, and based on perception of how they perceive you doodle. But I think the conversation is more likely to do that, possibly.
Do you think the conversation? So you're more of a audio. The audio is more important to you than the visuals.
No, I think they work consistently together. I love the idea of the doodle art with audio over the top. It reminds me a lot of the animation of Midnight Gospel by Duncan Trendle,
Yeah, we've
who he
watched we've watched two of them.
the first two.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
What did you think?
what, why would we pick up the show? Oh, yeah, we're starting a new show. Let's watch the third and the seventh episode, right?
Well,
like,
there are some things like Amazon and stuff that they'll give you like Survivor has 50 seasons and they'll let you watch season 47
oh, okay. Well, that's true.
and
But
not season one. So I mean, I didn't know where you were getting it from. So sometimes watching what you can might not always be the first
well, how
one.
many seasons are there of Midnight Gospel? There's only one
There's
season,
only
right?
one season and there's 8 episodes.
Right. Yeah. Well, we saw episode one. The first one
One
was about like a zombie apocalypse.
with the man with glasses.
Yeah, the president. He was supposed to be the president.
Yeah, well, he was the president. I don't know if
Um,
he was supposed to be
okay. Well, he it would be
of that
weird if he
multiverse.
was the
He wasn't.
president
He
and he
wasn't. He
wasn't
wasn't.
supposed to.
He wasn't supposed to be Trump or Biden or any of the presidents we've had,
Right.
but he was the president of that multiverse specifically.
Right. Yeah. But my point
Okay.
is that if he wasn't supposed to be the president, then it was weird that he was the president. So,
Yeah. Well, you started with he was supposed to be the president. I'm like, well, he was the president.
right. But see, that's
Okay.
supposed to
Yeah.
be is okay.
That
So,
changes it.
all right.
Like that
Supposed
implies
to.
that he was a fake president and there was somebody else actually in charge and he was just pretending to be president in the Oval Office with machine guns and but I like the first episode a lot because you can watch it just with visuals, kind of like doodle art, or you can watch it with visuals and audio because they don't necessarily even talk about what's happening on the screen,
Right.
and you don't really know what happens on the screen unless you see it on the screen.
Right.
I think there's three different ways to watch that show, and I've watched it all three different ways. I watched it with audio and video both. I've watched it just with audio, and I've watched it just with video,
Yeah.
and come away with different meanings and different ideas each time.
Sure.
Because I mean, visually it's very stunning and weird and odd. And I mean, he explains the whole multiverse thing in the opening sequence.
Right.
But that also changes every episode. Sorry, spoiler if nobody's seen the show that came out 6 years ago. Um,
I
yeah,
don't
it's called
think.
Midnight Gospel. Duncan Trendle, he's a comedian. He does he tours as a comedian, but he talks about the multiverse and his psilocybin trips and various and his DMT trips and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, he's been on Joe Rogan and opened up Joe Rogan's mind to psilocybins actually and the idea of ingesting mushrooms as entity refining sort of evolutionary sort of thing, kind of like Terence McKenna and William Burroughs and Timothy Leary were doing back in the 50s and 60s. They were using different psychedelics to get to altered states of being and creation.
Right.
And a lot of people at the time didn't like what they were professing and stuff. But you can look at Timothy Leary and William Burroughs and even Terence McKenna's output of books and writing and way of thinking, and you have to see that there's some talent there involved. They were not they were intelligent people.
Right.
William Burroughs' idea of cut up, his writing style, David Bowie did a lot of that in his songs also because he met William Burroughs and Genesee P. Orridge, who was the not really leader. He was the founder of the Church of the Psychic TV, which was a band that evolved from Coombe Transmissions and Throbbing Gristle. There's an offshoot to that band called Chris and Cozy. It's one of my favorite bands. They do light, airy music with subliminals that create emotions, which is pretty incredible.
Right. Yeah. So I'm the anti-emotion artist. I don't like emotion in art, which is not a popular point of view because everyone
you don't like emotion.
Art,
you don't like emotion in art. You don't
no,
like art that makes you feel something.
I don't.
So you want the art to make you feel nothing?
That's right.
Because that's still feeling something, right?
Well, I guess you can get semantic about it, but I mean, anger. Well, I like anger. I like feeling angry.
Oh my God! I want to talk to Robert Racek and not talk about semantics. I mean, how's that gonna work out for you?
I understand.
I'm probably Robert the semantic guy, but I wouldn't want to wear a badge that says that.
Right. Yeah. No. I was going to write a book called Pizza Semantics, and it was going to be like all of these arguments with different ways you get your slice of the pie by making semantic arguments.
I could help you with reviewing pizza and explaining semantically how different parts of each pizza need to be together to make a pizza good. Right. I don't even believe that deep dish pizza from Chicago it shouldn't be classified as a pizza because it's not.
Okay.
I mean, it's more of a meal. I mean, it's something you dig into and you might eat two pieces because they're huge and they're more like deep dish pizza to me is like the cake of the pizza world.
Right.
I mean, like a good cake. Not like a one flat 40 by 40 foot long wedding cake that has all frosting and yet somehow it's still the most dry thing in the world. We all had those wedding cakes. They're just disgusting.
The most recent wedding cake I had was kind of almost an angel's food cake. It was actually pretty good. I liked it. Yeah. My wife didn't like it, but I liked it.
Yeah, cakes are weird. I think everyone likes pies for the most part. Cakes are usually much more subjective.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I mean, I think people expect cakes to not be very good, so they give mediocre cakes a pass.
I mean, I don't know. I expect cake to be very good. I like.
You expect cake to be really good?
I expect cake. Yeah, I'm.
Like even things like carrot cake.
Well, I mean, carrot cake is insane. My cousin was saying
it's still a cake.
My brother-in-law, my sister's brother, wanted a carrot cake for his birthday, and I asked him, "What is wrong with you? Who would choose carrot cake?"
Have you not had a good carrot cake?
I've had good carrot cakes. I don't like carrot cake.
Okay. Because I've had mostly really, really bad carrot cakes. But when you have a good carrot cake, I could kind of see, if it's juicy and moist and
oh yeah, I've had juicy.
I mean, like I don't like pumpkin pie at all. You can have the best pumpkin pie in the world, and I won't like it.
Pumpkin pie.
I don't like the texture of pumpkin pie.
Gotcha. So you wouldn't like a lemon meringue pie either, would you?
I like lemon meringue.
Really?
Because it tastes like lemon, and it doesn't get the weird crust that a pumpkin pie does on top.
Weird crust? What weird crust?
Lemon meringue doesn't firm up the same way that pumpkin pie does.
Okay.
Kind of like I don't like the sound of people emptying out a can of cranberry sauce that comes out of a can.
Okay.
That sloop noise.
Yeah.
To me, that's like the most fearful noise in the world.
Fearful.
Fearful. Like that noise scares me.
It's a scary noise. Oh, okay.
It's a scary noise because it means somebody's taking a can of cranberry sauce and putting it in a bowl and calling it an appetizer.
Yeah.
Because that
Just the way
cranberry
Mom
sauce that
used to
comes
do
out of
it.
a can is always it's still sometimes if they don't do it right in the bowl, it still kind of looks can shaped,
Yeah, oh, no, that's how you do it. Like a real expert will get it to look like a perfect
like a
cylinder.
round. Yeah, like put like a orange peeler or something that's like round shaped on top of it to mold it. Or like, even like a Jello mold of like a brain would be a better way to present cranberry sauce
Oh
than
no,
having it
I
look
love it
kind
when
of can shaped. What?
when it's a cylinder.
Yeah, you love what when it's a cylinder?
Cranberry sauce.
You think it's better when they put it in a container that makes it look like it came out of a can?
When it comes, well, if you're careful, you can pop it out of the can so that it looks like it's still can shaped.
You like that?
Oh yeah,
You're
that's
you're you're the devil.
that's
That's
the way my mom makes it.
that's
We'll
horrible.
have a plate that's just a can shaped cranberry sauce blob, and then we
Not
cut
even
off
pretending
slices of
like
it.
it's like actual made. Wow,
We'll cut off slices of
like
it.
a cranberry can loaf,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's a good thing to you.
That's good. That's the way my mom makes it.
So it reminds you of nostalgia and when you were a kid. That's how cranberry, because it was served to me the same way, but I hated it. I thought it was horrible. So far that I thought the noise of it coming out of the can is just scary. Not really scary. I don't want to say I was afraid of it. I didn't like that sound
Gotcha.
because it's really hard to replicate that sound of cranberry sauce coming out of a can. I don't know. Kind of like I don't like the color of beets because they stain your hands if you touch them.
Hmm. I don't know. I just don't like the taste of beets. Like they're. If I
Of
think I
beets or
know
cranberry sauce?
beets.
Okay. Because we were talking about cranberry sauce mostly, so I didn't know if you were not liking cranberry sauce, but you like the way
Oh,
it's served.
cranberry sauce is great. It's just sugary
Cranberries.
cranberries, which is like,
Hence the name cranberry sauce.
wait, what could you not like about that?
I mean, if it was called grape nuts, then you'd have some issues because I have issues with grape nuts anyway.
Because it's not grape and it's not nuts.
Yeah, and it's like a brick, and you can never eat enough to get to the next box of cereal. Because as kids, we were supposed to eat a box of cereal, open up one box and eat that box until it's gone.
Right.
Because that would stop us from stealing all the prizes the first day when the boxes of cereal showed up in the magic cereal cupboard.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, then the cereal goes bad as soon as you open it, so you
Well,
can't do that.
because the lids and the bags don't seal, and they still don't
Right.
have any. I mean, the tab A slides into tab B. They used to give you instructions on how
Yeah,
to
but the
put the
bag doesn't
box of
seal,
cereal.
so that
Well, the bag doesn't seal, and the box doesn't either because it's not really tab A into slot B. It's kind of tab A into this little. They don't even have the full slot anymore.
right. Yeah, I don't understand why they don't do better resealable cereals. But I guess if I were doing it now, what I would do
I
is
mean, if
get
they,
like a big jar or something with one of those clamp tops that they have, one of those,
yeah,
and just
airtight,
pour the cereal.
or even Tupperware containers.
Right, yeah, something like that. That's how
You
I
know,
would do it
if
now.
Cheerios started packaging in a Tupperware container as a product for like a special thing, people would buy them just for the container,
Yeah,
and then they would reuse the container over and
yeah,
over for cereal.
yeah. It's
Because we
weird.
had neighbors that would take all the different cereals and mix them together in a Tupperware container, so their kids wouldn't fight over the different types of cereal,
Yeah,
which is kind of weird because I don't want my Lucky Charms marshmallows mixing in with my Frankenberry marshmallows.
well, they're always after me, Lucky Charms.
Yeah, I know. I liked when Lucky Charms had four Lucky Charms and not 9 or 10.
Well, then
I kind of,
they did the all marshmallows Lucky Charms.
yeah, for a small period. They also did Oops All Berries for Captain Crunch, and
Yeah.
they still do those sometimes if you can find them. No, Lucky Charms, when they went to the Blue Diamond being a Lucky Charm, I'm like, wait, look, famously, the Hope Diamond, which is a blue diamond, is the most unlucky diamond in existence.
Right,
Why would you choose
but
a
having
blue
an
diamond?
unlucky charm, right? It's not. it's that they has to do with luck. I mean, even if one's a bad one, you still are controlling luck.
So you think a blue diamond as a lucky charm was meant there on purpose because it was unlucky?
Like a hex. Like if you, it's about controlling fate, right? So like
but they didn't list it as an unlucky charm.
Right.
I think it'd be cool if they did. I mean, I think if they did a box of unlucky charms and they had like, I don't know, a black cat and a blue diamond and the number 13, would that be kind of cool as a marketing thing?
That would be.
I'm just sick of them making more lucky charms and not making. I mean, a rainbow. I guess a rainbow's a lucky charm.
Yeah, because when you see a rainbow, that's good luck.
Yeah, or it means it just rained and you see a perception different than. I don't know.
Means that God is sparing us from a giant flood. He was thinking about flooding us. God was threatening us.
He decided not to do it. No, he just said, "This is what happened before. I won't do it again."
He was thinking, you know what? I'm going to flood him. I'm going to do it. And then he said, "No, I am not going to."
But after he said that he would not do anymore and gave the rainbows a sign, he actually did do the 7 plagues of Egypt.
Right, but none of them was a flood.
Yeah, well, yeah, he found other ways to like. He's like, "I'll never flood you again."
Right.
But there's plenty of other things I can do that are horrible.
Right, yeah. Every Passover I ask, like, why didn't God just, like, zap Pharaoh's brain and just be like, Pharaoh, change your mind? Right? Like,
I don't think anyone would worship Old Testament God. I think the New Testament and Jesus is why people are Christians or whatever religion they are.
Well, I'm Jewish, so I worship the Old Testament God. I mean, my God is the kind of God who says, sacrifice your children, and then like JKLOLZ. That's the God that I'm into.
Yeah, you're talking about Abraham, right? Specifically.
Yeah. That's my God.
How do you defend that God? Because that's kind of a...
I don't defend him. He's all powerful. He doesn't need a defense. He does whatever he wants.
How do you defend your belief in him when he seems to be such not a nice person?
Well, I mean, it's sort of is the world a nice place?
Mostly, I don't know, the world around me mostly is a nice place.
I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't be happy if somebody came down from the heavens and said, sacrifice your first son. And then, by the way, when your knife's poised to kill him, he says, oh, I was kidding, sorry. I was just testing your faith. I
wouldn't be happy either, but, listen. It doesn't seem like the purpose of the universe is to make people happy, right? Like,
isn't the purpose of the universe to each one of us make ourselves happy?
I don't know. It's so in the Declaration, or in the Declaration of Independence, it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
But pursuit doesn't necessarily mean that you're be happy. It just means you can strive to be happy.
You don't get happiness. You pursue it.
Well, it's kind of like what's enlightenment? Is enlightenment what happens at the end of your life, or is it the whole purpose of being here is the experience of being alive? Maybe we chose that instead of the end game.
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe there is no end game.
I don't know. There was a great Beavis and Butthead for the new series of Beavis and Butthead where Beavis and Butthead instantly achieve enlightenment because they're told that they just have to empty their heads of all thought. And then they just immediately transcend and leave their bodies and go to Nirvana, which contains Buddha, Jesus, a couple other people, and then also Bill Gates because he donated a lot.
That sounds cool. But you had time to watch new Beavis and Butthead, and you've only watched 2 episodes of Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel is harder to watch.
What do you mean it's harder to watch?
It's emotional. It's very
dense.
Heavy, right? It's
dense.
It's like saying you had enough time to eat potato chips, but you didn't have enough time to eat dinner. Like, yeah, I have room for potato chips. I don't have room for like a big heavy pot roast or whatever.
Okay, because I was going to be like, dinner could be potato chips.
I understand, and that's okay. I'm a guy who eats a dinner of potato chips. I like potato chips for dinner, and I'll have I'll have
I mean,
a.
you look at the back. You look at the back of a bag of like Lay's or Tim's, and potato chips also don't do sealing well.
Yeah, that's a
But
good point. Is that they should
but I
make
do
those
know how
bags
to
better.
seal. I do know how to just use the bag
Right. There's a
and
way to
make
do. There's
potato
a
chips.
trick.
Yeah, I know how to fold them that way. I just found that out last year.
Yeah. Well, we got a
And
bunch of bag clips.
yeah, back clips don't work right. They work just. Yeah, I guess they work okay if you fold up the bag enough.
Yeah. Well, so my wife got small little bag clips, and I said, no, we need to get manly big bag clips.
Yeah, you don't want little individual sized potato chip bags because even those are supposed to be 3 servings.
Right.
I think the serving size on potato chips is just there to shame you because they know you're gonna eat at least a quarter of the bag,
I can
right?
tell you exactly what the serving size on potato chips is for. It's so that
One bag.
they can say on the bag like 100 calories, and then like the big number is 100 calories. So when you look at it and you just glance at it, you say, "Oh, this bag of potato chips is 100 calories," and
No, that's
then
9 servings.
that's yeah, one bag is like 40 servings, right? And it's sort of like
Well, 9 servings. You're exaggerating.
I am exaggerating.
Okay. A bag is usually between 7 and 12, depending on what company makes it.
Right, yeah. So and then
Sad that I know that because I don't really care about the serving size or the calories of potato chips because I just want to eat them.
right, I understand, but
Yeah.
it's all so that they can make it easier when you say, "Oh, well, I'm just getting 100 calories," and they passed a law that says that like cans of soda, if it's one can of soda, the serving size has to be a can. Because it
Yeah.
used to be that the sodas would say like, "Oh, this soda is 50
Three
calories."
servings.
And it's
Three or
3
2 servings.
servings in one can of soda was 3 servings of soda, which is absurd. I mean, that's just bull. That's nonsense.
It depends on the soda. Like I don't like Dr. Pepper, so one can would probably serve me 3 times throughout
Yeah,
the
but
day.
like you're gonna take a fizzy soda and just put it in the fridge or something? Like, come on.
Some people do, and they have lids for that.
I guess.
Are you talking like 12-ounce fizzy soda, or are you talking about like a 20-ounce Monster?
No,
Are
I'm
you
talking
talking
about
about,
like a
like-
regular 16-ounce can or 12-ounce can.
They're 12-ounce cans.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna. That's pretty much a one-time serving.
Yeah, but you can't like if you put a 12-ounce can and you say this is 2 servings. I mean, come on, that's just false
Yeah.
advertising. That
That's
should
what they
be
used to
illegal.
do. You're right, but then if you look at a Monster can, which is 20 ounces,
Right.
is that more realistic to call that 2 servings?
I guess, but it's a fizzy soda. You know, no one's gonna drink that in 2 servings.
So if it's not a fizzy soda, I mean, are you including that like
I guess
aloe
if it's
vera,
not
like
a
coconut
fizzy,
water or aloe vera juice or
right?
things
Yeah,
that are not
there's
fizzy?
Monster juice, right? There's Monster does a juice that's not
Yeah.
carbonated.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Uh,
Would
I
you
don't
be
know.
okay with that being 2 servings because it's 20 ounces?
It's more debatable. Although even then, I don't think they should because the fact of the matter is that if more than half the clientele drink it in 1 serving, then that should count as the serving size.
But maybe they count it as, I mean, but then how do you compete with calories when you have a 20-ounce Monster versus a 12-ounce Mountain Dew?
Right. Well, then you
I
should
mean,
make the serving size smaller. Right?
I mean,
It should encourage
the
people to
size-
make a smaller can.
I mean, the sizes should be, the calories should be based on the same size liquid.
Right. Okay. So
And it's not, if you're doing calories on a Monster, that I think 20 ounces, I think I don't have a Monster, I don't drink that kind of energy drink very often. I'm more of the electrolyte hydrating beverage thing because
Gatorade.
the bottles are square shaped. They're pretty cool.
oh, Electrolyte. That's actually a brand, right? Okay, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah, I found some green apple ones the other day that I was looking for regular apple ones, and I found some green apple ones, and they were really good. Electrolyte, they were successful enough a few years ago when they started the Gatorade. Now makes Gatorlit in the same size, shape, bottle, so that people will be confused and think that Electrolyte copied Gatorade. And Gatorade's just a horrible energy drink. It's just basically pure sugar.
And so
And it's always been that way. I mean, Gatorade's just, it's not, it was a sports beverage in the 70s because it was the only one, if that makes any sense.
oh no, it makes plenty of sense.
There's a
I
couple of Gatorades that I can drink because they taste okay, but I shouldn't be drinking a Gatorade just for taste, you know,
yeah.
like the
I
Iron
like the new.
Frost.
They have the new. What is it? Aloe or something. There's a new like female targeted monster drink that they have. It's like
Yeah,
because they decided that Monster is too manly because women aren't interested in monsters. So
yeah.
they have this like feminine energy drinks
A
now.
lot of women choose to date monsters,
Well,
so I
that's
don't know
true.
if they're not interested.
Well, they're not interested in drinking a beverage that's based on
That's
monsters.
called monsters. Yes.
Right.
I don't know. I think they might do a Bride of Frankenstein drink.
Yeah. So
I mean,
I like the
The movie The Bride is actually coming out this next month or so.
right
Maggie
Christian Bale. My
Gyllenhaal.
wife has already nixed that one. She says it looks awful.
It looks awful.
She said she hated it. She said this
Oh,
is bad.
Maggie Gyllenhaal, who plays the bride, is also the director.
Well, listen, my wife she
Wow.
nixed it.
Okay.
She's a tough critic.
It does kind of give me like the horrible Nosferatu vibe.
We like
That
Nosferatu. We like Nosferatu, which is the
even though it was a musical.
no, not the musical. The new what was it the remake of Nosferatu that was not a musical.
Okay, I think they did one that was a musical also.
I don't know about that one,
Okay,
but there was a remake of Nosferatu that was in the spirit of the original movie.
was Lady Gaga in it?
No,
Okay,
I'm curious about this musical Nosferatu
Nosferatu
with
and Lady
Lady
Gaga are
Gaga. Now I want to see
yeah,
that because that sounds like a disaster.
yeah. I remember reading reviews, and I mean, I saw the trailer, and I'm like, this is not gonna go. This is not gonna go well.
Musical Nosferatu with Lady Gaga. I gotta remember to look that up.
Well, I mean, there was a movie that me and Nancy were gonna go see yesterday called The Testament of and somebody. It's a colonial historical film musical based on the Shaker religion.
Based on which Quakers?
The Shakers.
The Shakers. Oh yeah, I remember. We saw a
Yeah, but that seems
documentary
like
about them.
it seems like a really hard sell to a studio saying, "Hey, we want to make a colonial musical about a religious cult."
Right. Well, the
I don't
Shakers
know.
actually seem. I mean, I know they. So for anyone who's listening, the Shakers were like you say they're a cult, and technically they are a cult, but
Well,
they're
y-
they're really nice. They were really nice. They were not like drink the Kool-Aid kind of cult. They were like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
let's leave out food for animals cult. They were really nice and friendly.
There's also people in this current universe that we're in that say that the Catholics are a cult. So I was
Right,
using
okay.
the term cult very. I wasn't using it as a Grant Davidian or Jerry Jones cult.
Right.
That
Well,
makes
so
sense.
I'm just saying cult has a negative connotation, right? I mean,
Does it always? I mean, a cult's a group of people with somebody who is giving guidance spiritually and religiously to other people.
I
Isn't
don't
that the
know,
definition of
man.
a cult?
Yeah, I say that's a cult, and that has a negative. To me, when I hear that, I go, "Uh-oh, that's a
But
problem."
that sounds like does that sound like the Catholics?
I mean,
Yes.
so it
A
also
lot of Christians
there's a
think,
fringeness to it. It has to be a fringe. It can't once you have enough people, it's not a cult anymore.
so Jesus and the 12 apostles was not a cult
It was
because there
originally
was
a cult, and then it caught on and became a religion. See, so that's the goal of
it
every
became many
cult.
religions.
The
Yeah.
goal of a cult is to become a religion, right? But if it's too small, it's still a cult. Like I would say almost. So this is my hot take, and if you're listening to this is going to go viral or whatever. But I would say QAnon is a cult.
Yeah. But I don't think there's a religious element to QAnon.
I mean, I think it's
I think there
so.
might be a spiritual I think there might be a spiritual resonance. And I agree. I think in the broader term, QAnon would be a cult, right?
I think
But
because
but
it's
I
so.
also think I think that Trump and people that follow Trump by some people could be seen as a cult also.
Well, I think some of the people are culters who are into him. So again, it's when there's enough irrational beliefs associated with it, then that counts as spiritual, as far as I'm concerned. So, like, if you believe like that fluoridation causes you to become communist, right? Then that's a spiritual belief. That's not based on any evidence.
Well, I think you're confusing faith and
Well,
spiritualism
so it
or
doesn't have to
beliefs.
be. I mean, my point is that there's no real way to separate what is truly a religious, like, well, this is Jesus, versus what is just like, well, I think fluoridation makes you turn into a monster or whatever. Those are all irrational in terms of there's no proof that those are for real, right? You can't prove that Jesus was real.
So you have to have proof of
If you can prove it, then you're
a
not a
religion
religion.
to make it a cult.
No, what I'm saying is that when you have enough beliefs that are not provable, then you're dealing with a cult or a religion.
Well, Einstein's theory of relativity is not provable.
I mean,
in the physical world.
Yeah, so I think to some extent, in terms of even with Einstein's theory of relativity, you can get into religious thinking when you go too far into science, where you say like, hey, I have scientific beliefs that are not proven, that are just theories. Like Einstein's theory of relativity has been proven like experimentally. But if you
in physical science, but there's also quantum science that kind of throws Einstein's theory out the window.
Right, well that's and then if you go down the quantum rabbit hole and start thinking about multiverses and so on and so forth,
and think about string theory and stuff.
And yeah, just because you have a scientific argument that says, my attitude is if you can't prove it experimentally, then you're dealing with some sort of a faith-based thing, even if it's a scientific theory. Like
but quantum reality has been proven with the double slit experiment since 1919. It's
right,
been
so then,
more than 100 years.
Which is why that's not a religious thing.
But you said it's a theory they can't.
It can be proven because you prove it with the double slit experiment, and then you prove it, and then it's proven. So,
well,
so then it's okay. That it's not religion anymore, right?
It's still considered a theory, which is weird because.
Well, so the word theory is that's just semantics, but like
back to semantics.
If you prove it experimentally, then you're not dealing with an irrational religious belief. You're dealing with something that is like, for the theory of gravity, no one can explain why gravity exists, but I can demonstrate that gravity exists by like dropping something. And then it's
you can demonstrate that something goes towards the middle of the earth. That doesn't prove gravity exists.
Right, I understand that doesn't prove that gravity exists, but
okay,
right, it's sort of.
You can show the idea behind gravity.
Right, there are with the scientific method. So I'm making a key distinction between what is experimentally observable through the scientific method. Those are the facts. Those are the hard. That's what is true with a capital T. If you're using
in physical science, yes. If you're using Einstein's theory, that is what's provable and visible to your current perception.
Right. Yeah. So
because a lot of quantum things don't really work with that.
And that's idea. My attitude is that a lot of quantum things are in fact religious, faith-based ideas. And you just because you put the word quantum in there doesn't mean that you can believe anything you want and not have it go off into the rails at some point.
Okay.
That's my point.
Okay. I mean, I feel that the Mandela Effect, not always, but quite often, is proving that we go through different timelines, and each one of us have a different perception of reality.
I don't think that counts as proof.
We do each have a different perception of reality based on our five senses and us being in our bodies. Sure. You have a different angle of you. You have a different angle of this reality than everyone else because you're the only Michael Silverman, right?
Sure. That's fine. I agree with that. And right, I'm sitting in my apartment and you're sitting where you're sitting and you're sitting in a different place and you're looking at different things and you may or may not, I don't know if you have the stream loaded, you may or may not see the doodle or you don't or whatever, and right, and it's sort of.
I like the surprise of seeing what the doodle is and trying to recreate in my mind what part of the doodle you did first while we were talking about different things. I kind of make it into a video game in my mind.
Oh, cool.
I like the seeing the doodle after the end when you upload the whole thing and trying to visualize. Because I don't know what you doodle, not your doodle passion. I don't know what your doodle path is. I don't know if you start with the outlines. I don't know if you just do like a yellow dot in the middle. I don't know. I've seen so many people do doodles in different ways, and they all think that the way that they do it, kind of like eating breakfast cereal, how you pour your milk in, when you pour your milk in, do you crush your cereal down into the bowl to get more in there? Do you add more milk? There's so many different ways to eat breakfast cereal, and everyone thinks that there's one way because it's the way that they do it.
Right. So that's not religious. That's like a fact. You can verify that by like talking to people and asking them, how do you make your breakfast cereal? Right. Like, and
they run away. They don't like, people don't like talking about things like that because they think it's a silly thing to talk about.
Well, I think that's the interesting stuff to talk about. That's like, to me, that's the most interesting stuff.
That's why we're doing Doodle Art together.
I understand. Yeah. But my point is that you can verify certain things. And I think that there have been some really interesting studies where they've like asked a lot of people these detailed questions about mental health and stuff to try and like find out almost a question of how many people are crazy. Because like, you sit there, more people are crazy than you realize.
What is the baseline?
Right.
And then who's to judge what crazy is?
Right. Well,
crazy in America is different than crazy in the deep South America or the Pacific Northwest, or everyone has a different bar for what is considered crazy, and there's no baseline based on anything on the planet, and it's also a social-political thing about what's crazy.
Right. Yeah, I understand there's a lot of, it's a hairy issue. I get it. But my point is that these are all things that can be measured. And, people say it's subjective, and it's sort of like, even with art, for example, you sit there and say, like, if, let's say 90% of the people who see a piece of art feel sad after they see a piece of art, you can kind of make a judgment about that piece of art that, objectively, it's kind of a sad piece. If most people who see it, like 90% of people who see it, feel sad after they see it, then you can say objectively.
But that's not. But you can't, because you don't know if it's all the only people that have seen it, and maybe all the only ones that have access to that museum or to that thing.
Well, so
which will count out pretty much anyone that's in third world Africa or Asia of seeing it. So
sure. Well,
from the people that saw it, you can say, based on the people that saw it, this is pretty much a sad thing. But I think you have to add the based on people who have looked at it.
Sure.
Because a lot of people that from other places, people might see it and be joyful and happy about it.
Sure. So
I don't think you can subjectively.
That's a sample bias, right? Like, but so a better sample would solve that problem.
Yeah.
I mean, my point still stands that you can measure some of these things objectively, even if you have to bring in people from Africa or whatever, or people from China or people from wherever.
But generally, things are described using a sample bias of who saw those things or watched it, like a movie.
So the system isn't perfect, right? Like, so example, this new Matt Damon movie with The Rip, which I was talking about. Like, that's going to have a limited audience. I don't think people in India are watching The Rip on Netflix the way that people
I think people might be watching it because it's the new Matt Damon. The name The Rip means nothing to me.
Right.
Is it supposed to be like The Con? I mean, it's about a bank robbery, right?
It's about, The Rip is, they found a stash of money. So that's what a rip is.
Okay.
So they found an illegal they're police officers, and they found an illegal stash of money. And
so is the rip a common term for that?
Apparently, police officers know it. I had never heard it before. When I heard rip, I thought fart. I thought that they ripped, so someone let it rip. They let their fart rip. That was what I thought of.
I agree. I think the marketing using the name The Rip doesn't make sense because, I mean, I don't think Matt Damon probably knew the term The Rip before he did the movie.
Right.
Even. And he did do a lot of the Bourne Identity movies and stuff. Maybe it seems to be slang that's either new millennial stuff or very specifically police oriented.
I think it's very specifically police oriented.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess you see the name and then you watch the trailer, you understand what they're doing, but I think the name itself was misleading.
Right. Well, I think that what they were trying to do was pick a name that's memorable, which the rip is a memorable as a term. Remembering the rip is not hard.
No.
And then they
Wanting to
just
go see a movie called The Rip and having to explain what it's about to your wife,
right.
that seems like a battle.
Well, you just say it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and it's called The Rip, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that's
So
what they were thinking.
they're big enough stars that you don't really need to have a name that makes any sense.
Right, exactly. That it just has to be a memorable name, so you can say, "Oh,
I mean, it could have a better name, The Con Job. The Rip Off.
Well,
I
so
think
yeah,
the Rip Off would have made more sense.
it's not a ripoff though. That's the thing.
No. So the Rip is the actual money that they found.
The Rip is a big stash of like millions of dollars of money. That's what the Rip is.
Is that a new term?
I don't know when it came into existence, but I had never heard it before until this movie, and I guess this is based on true events, of course, because every movie in history is based on true events.
Every movie is based on true events.
Have you? So listen, when I watch a movie, like 90% of movies say this is a true story. I mean, I'm serious. And I sit there and have you seen the movie Weapons?
Yeah, I loved Weapons. I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah, so it's a great movie, but you realize it opens up with this is a true story. Weapons.
This is based on it says this is. Didn't it say this is based on a true story?
I think it may have said based on as opposed to this is a true story. But my point is, there's literal voodoo. There's magic in it. I mean, right? Like,
and you don't believe in voodoo or magic like that.
I mean,
there's many people in Louisiana who have experienced voodoo and magic exactly like that. Who would argue with you that you're wrong because their perception is different.
I understand. Don't mess with voodoo, to quote Ron Burgundy. Don't go to Haiti.
Oh.
Voodoo will you up.
Don't go to Haiti?
Don't go to Haiti.
Yeah.
If someone asks you, do you want to go to Haiti? What do you say?
No.
There you go.
So you believe in voodoo, but you're saying the movie wasn't realistic because they were using voodoo in the movie.
I sarcastically believe in voodoo.
Does that mean, or ironically believe in voodoo? I don't know if you sarcastically believe. I think I think you believe in it, in the idea that you'd rather not go to Haiti.
And irony?
What?
What's the difference between sarcasm and irony?
Irony means you don't believe in it at all, but you're pretending to.
And what would sarcastic?
If you sarcastically means you're overly believing in it, even though you really don't. Sarcastically is it's supposed to be. I think sarcasm is supposed to be obviously you're kind of making fun of something.
Okay.
Irony or being ironic about something
you can be more coy. You can be more subtle.
Irony, you might actually have the belief.
Well, I don't know where I think I'm more sarcastic in that I'm making.
You would rather not go to Haiti if somebody said let's go to Haiti.
Well, I would
because
go to
Haiti. The perception is to you Haiti is full of voodoo.
No, that was just me quoting Anchorman, the movie Anchorman.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't go to Haiti.
Oh well, I heard you say Ron Jeremy. Did you say Ron Burgundy?
Ron Burgundy is what I said.
I heard Ron Jeremy, and I'm like, why does the porn star really not like Haiti or something?
No, Ron Burgundy from.
Okay,
Anchorman.
I thought you were. We should go back and listen. I thought you said Jeremy, and I'm like, that didn't make sense to me.
Well,
but I was letting it slide.
Maybe I did a Freudian slip because I'm kind
How's that a Freudian slip? I don't think that's a Freudian slip.
If you mention a porn star instead of an actor, I don't know. That sounds like a Freudian slip.
It sounds like it should be, but it probably isn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Jeremy and Burgundy both have 3 syllables. They both have Y's. I don't know. I mean, Ron Burgundy was the character in Anchorman, right?
Yeah.
Which I've never seen Anchorman.
Oh, it's a great movie. I recommend it.
Well, I mean, I loved Talladega Nights, and I
Sure.
loved the movies that he did about the magicians. Burt
What?
Wonderstone.
Yeah, Wonderstone. Wonderstone was okay. I thought it was okay.
I think he played the characters really well, and I think the person playing the Chris Angel character was really funny
Jim
because
Carrey.
Chris Angel is exactly like that. Yeah. Um, I'm not a big fan of Chris Angel saying that his magic and his illusions are real because he's shamanistic and better than other people spiritually.
Right.
I think that offends like Penn and Teller. It offends Penn like immensely
Yeah.
to say that this is actually magic. It's like, no, these are tricks, and we know how these tricks are done, and
Well, they're
you
not
know,
tricks; they're illusions.
yeah, whatever. I mean, but he implies. Yeah, I mean, David Blaine is a street magician, and he does things of endurance and more of a daredevil. I think David Blaine is.
Yeah.
David Blaine doesn't say that I can do these things and you can't because I'm more spiritual. I
Right.
mean, David Blaine's more knowledgeable about how to do certain illusions or tricks or whatever.
Right.
I just think, I mean, I don't know, Chris Angel's got his own theater in Vegas, so I guess he's doing something right. You know, he was in a band before out of New York that wasn't going anywhere. So he kind of became a rock star of the magic world with his TV show.
Yeah.
I like the TV show because I like the sideshow freaky sort of family members that he had. I
Yeah.
thought they were more entertaining than him.
Right. Well, that's the way reality TV works. I mean, that's the formula.
Yeah, well, I here from Seattle, I saw one of the first ever Jim Road sideshows things. He did it at a restaurant here called Alibaba's, and there were people outside watching the people inside being the blockhead and that kind of stuff. Jim Rose was so good at being the MC of a freak show. He knew enough. He was just a very good salesman. Probably a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's so much of life is being a good salesman, right? Like,
or a good mediator to be a middleman to get people to meet and networking and stuff. It seems to be a big part of life.
it's frustrating to me. I just want to make
What
stuff. I
what
don't want to. I don't want to have to like mediate. I don't want to have to like sell it. You know?
Well, mediating the way you're saying it sounds like compromise.
Yeah. I don't want to compromise. I don't.
Yeah, but mediating isn't necessarily compromising. Mediating is like this is what I'm doing. You know, if you want me to come do an event, this is what you're paying me,
Yeah.
and I will come and do this event, and people will have fun. And I'm learning more and more that that's how I have to do things, and not really. You know, I don't want to do an arcade tournament event and explain to the arcade location exactly how I want to do it because that does what stops them from doing it themselves.
Right.
But a lot of them are like, well, what's your format and how are you doing it? And I'm like, I mean, obviously, if they are calling me and wanting me to do an event, they've either heard that I do a really good event or they've tried to do them themselves and they don't work or they didn't want the hassle.
Right.
So me fixing what they've tried in the past, sometimes in the past has gotten me not invited to do an event there because I gave them mostly the secret sauce.
Sure. Well,
So
so the answer to that, by the way, is to just charge more. Right? Like if you're giving them like a formula that they can use, that's cash money in the bank. You deserve to get paid a lot for that.
yeah, but they don't ever. They just try to pick my brain and figure out how I'm doing things.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm
So
like,
so
I'm
so
like the
like
best way to figure out I'm doing things is come to one of my shows and see me do it.
yeah.
You know, I don't mind if people do that because I mean, if somebody, I get a world record of Mr. Driller almost at every event I do. I beat the current world record and don't get it verified with the idea that people want to see the world record get beat. And I don't want to necessarily get it verified every time because that makes it harder for me to beat it next time.
Sure, that's clever.
Because I'm second place right now in the world at Mr. Driller. The guy that's first place is a guy in Texas named Marty Bushway. And he played it really well on MAME. This is like 2015. But I had 5 Mr. Driller boards and he had an arcade machine. I'm like, I'm giving you a board to get the world record on the arcade machine. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because I think you have the talent and the skill to do it. And if you do it on the actual arcade machine, um, you can keep the board. And I mean, to get it within 2 years, and because it was a $300 board, and he got the world record within, he beat my world record within 2 years, and I let him keep the board. I wish he was still playing. I don't think he is, but world record is 368,000 and change on Mr. Diller. But I've beaten that score 2,500 times on my own machine at home.
Yeah.
So it's almost within an hour. If I'm at a show, I can beat if the machine's working right and the joystick's working right and the button has a good. If the machine's working correctly, I can usually beat that score within an hour.
Yeah.
Of focusing on playing the game.
That's clever.
I don't know.
Clever,
I mean, I
clever
also
game.
I call them, I don't call them this, but they're 2-minute ROMs for Donkey Kong and Jr. where I've recreated the whole game 16 different ways for each machine. And I can set them, well, 4 different ways, but each path has 4 different skill settings. And I can set it up in one setting. And, if anybody that has arcades or has multiple locations or even one location, if they reach out to me, I can help them get people coming back to their arcades, because that's my passion, is to do arcade events in the way that I would do them, so that people will go and actually make money playing arcade games. I mean, it's the only esport right now that nobody seems to care about.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Well, I remember there was that King of Kong documentary that came out. Wasn't that with the guy with the American tie? What's his?
Yeah, that's Billy Mitchell.
Billy Mitchell. Yeah, him. He made it. He was like he. What happened to him? Did he?
Well, Richie Knuckles is the one that does the King of Kong, and actually, Richie Knuckles recently, a pretty good friend of mine, he told me that I'm actually in charge of doing all the next Kong offs. I think we're starting. The next one is Kong off number 8, I think. I think he did 7 of those. He did. I went to 6 and ran an arcade tournament, and I got 78 people to play in my tournament, which was really cool. 78 casual people that paid $150 for the weekend, and some of them cared about Donkey Kong, but most of them, they only had 30 or 40 like serious Donkey Kong players there. But I did a contest based on 12 machines. I put numbers on the machines and said, honor system, get the highest score you can, and we'll do triangle scoring and give out prizes. That's a continuation of what even if when I do the next Kong off, I'm still going to do a side contest not for amateurs, because I don't like the term. I'd much rather say casual people, or at that point, if the league is going well enough, unranked, because I don't think unranked means bad. It just means you haven't been ranked yet.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm in general, I'm always open for like inclusivity and like, to me, I get offended when people are like, oh well, we really know what we're doing, so get out of here, you filthy peasants.
I hate the idea of pro-am.
Right.
I mean, I like the idea because you get to know who some of the amateurs are. But the whole concept that this person's better than you because he's been winning more money and he's been doing it a lot more time, those are all facts, but that doesn't mean that you need to throw it in the amateur's face that he's the one that's really... Does that...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
I like the idea of a pro-am. If you're an amateur and you get to play with a professional, that's a pretty cool thing.
Right, yeah.
But having a contest that's pro-am based on the pro has to do really, really good or you have no chance. See, I wouldn't want to do a pro-am arcade contest, because who am I to say who are the professionals?
Right.
I mean, most of them, the 70 people that I have on my team, Scorechasers, they're all really, really good arcade players, but they're also all integrity-based, really good people.
Right.
And that's to me, it's kind of like in high school giving your Letterman's jacket to your girlfriend, that every time she puts that jacket on, if nothing else, she thinks of you a little bit and kind of empowers your energy. And that's just kind of what I did as kind of the founder of Team Scorechasers, because there's 70 people that have my jerseys, and if they wear them into an arcade or anything, people that recognize I want to say skill. I don't want to say better players. People that see somebody in one of my jerseys, they're like, "What is this team's Scorechaser thing?" And then they realize they're over there killing Hubert and doing fantastic or really good at pinball. It's like, oh, they kind of connect the jersey with the idea that this is a really good quality player.
Right.
Was kind of the idea. I haven't given out new Scorechaser jerseys in probably 3 or 4 years, but because arcade locations love pinball now, and they didn't 15 years ago, because pinball tournaments are a huge deal. But most of those locations have arcade machines, and they're like, "Yeah, we tried an arcade tournament and it didn't work. Nobody showed up."
Yeah.
But there's a lot of moving parts to doing an arcade tournament correct. I mean, you need to promote it. You need to, you can't just put up a sign over your one joust machine and say, "We're doing an arcade tournament. We have one machine," which
Right.
is kind of what locations do. Or even if you have five machines, people generally don't want to come and play those five machines in a contest
Sure.
because it's not
Well,
enough machines.
well, yeah. Like I wouldn't. I mean, I would. I like. So I'm kind of a target guy for you because, like, I would love to have a fun night playing video games and meeting people and stuff. But
Yeah.
like, it would have to be there would have to be some sort of structure to it rather than just like, well, it's a competition and you show up, you compete, and then you leave. Because then I wouldn't really socialize. I would just like I would try it, I would do
Well,
bad, and then I would never do it again because I would be bad at
well,
it.
this is how I've GameWorks, the owner of the only GameWorks left in the world is in Seattle, and he says this year we're actually going to do retro events, and he wants me to like put them together.
Right.
I would do like a 5 hour. I call it Friday Night Fights. I would do like a 5 hour, probably 8 to midnight, because the place closes at 1 or something, so you have time to tabulate the scores.
Right.
And it's round robin, and I'd put cap cards on like they have like probably 12 or 15 when they have 12 or 15 appropriate machines that were 80s and 90s era. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, Mr. Driller feels like an 80s game because it's a sequel to Dig Dug, but it came out in '99. But people are like, that's not really an 80s game. And I'm like, well, it's not specifically an 80s. It's an 80s style arcade tournament.
Right.
But it's round robin, so you can actually watch other people play and learn from them as well, which is what I miss from the arcade back in the days.
Sure.
You're a little bit younger than me, but to me, it's a competition, but it's more of an arcade gathering at GameWorks. I don't know. I would like to charge $10 a person because that doesn't seem like bad for 4 hours of enjoyment. I mean,
Yeah,
pay
that
for the
sounds
games
reasonable.
too. You know what I mean? You get a game card, or maybe you pay $30 and 10 of that goes back to the GameWorks specifically for the games. You know,
Right.
they're better off just being like, you buy a 4 hour timed card for $20, but the $20 entry fee should go towards the prize money.
Yeah.
That way, GameWorks isn't paying anything for the prizes.
Yeah.
Because pinball, they usually pay 100% added. They usually add the contest money of $5 or $10. The locations usually pitch in the same amount of money for the prize pot.
Yeah.
But arcade games haven't been proven by anyone to really be. I mean, people will do at conventions and stuff. They'll do like a high score contest, and they'll have like two Pac-Man machines, or they'll do like a Miss Pac-Man contest, and say you have 5 minutes to get the best score you can. I actually like that idea. It's called caravan mode, because if you have a Miss Pac-Man contest and somebody can get 400 or 600 or 900,000 points, that's an hour and a half of one person at that machine, and you have 20 people or 10 people in your contest. It's not fun to sit there and watch somebody play a machine for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they're going to get a kill screen or something. But Miss Pac-Man, the goal is actually among the elite, like 10 players, the goal is to get 1 million. And we don't think that it's even possible with the random number generation of the fruits. You'd have to get so many bananas and peaches that it's not worth. I think 914,000 is the highest score ever on Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah.
It might be 929, but I would really enjoy somebody getting 1 million on Miss Pac-Man live verified before I die. That's kind of one of my bucket lists. Um,
Sure.
but we have to build up arcade tournaments to where people are going to care enough to, because we should be live streaming the gameplay of arcade tournaments. Because
Yeah.
if you have two machines set up and the highest score, and my team Scorechasers, some of the members show up and they win, they're like, I
Yeah.
won the contest. I'm like, but we don't really know what competition you had. We don't know what settings the machine was on. I mean, I'm sure that the contest was fair, but you being a team score chaser and you being one of the people that are very, very good at arcade games, you're going to be playing against 90% people that are just casual players.
Right.
So it doesn't really mean a whole lot in the way of standings or rankings. I mean, you can have a lot of prizes and you won a lot of trophies, but that doesn't show the settings on the game or the scores that you got or there's so many variables if you don't standardize across events what you're doing. Now, pinball, they don't really standardize and they don't record scores or anything when they do pinball tournaments because it's usually like a group of four and you do like three strikes. But that's a different format, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like so as a game designer, I feel like someone could put together like a game that's designed to be like shorter, but still there's a chance of getting a world record, but like it just doesn't take like 2 hours to get a world record. Like
There's
that.
there's this guy named Robert Racek up in Seattle that has
You're
done that
designing that.
exact thing. What?
You're doing that.
I'm doing that. Yeah, I'm doing that. I have a Donkey Kong and a Donkey Kong Jr., and we're working on another iconic game that's not a Nintendo machine as the third one that we're doing. And as I explained earlier, there's I can set the machine four different ways and four different skill levels. So there's 16 ways I can set the machine up, and you can't change it if you're just a game player. If you come up to the machine, you put a credit in, you play it, the game lasts like 2 minutes and 18 seconds, depending on what you do and when you hit things and stuff, because you pretty much have one man. But there's
Yeah.
also bonus stages sometimes that you can die in the bonus stage and you're not dead because that was a bonus stage.
Sure.
So it's really, I mean, it has the same elements as Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., but it's using the same graphic set, but the gameplay is totally different. Well, I can't say totally different. It's still a platform game, but it's not gameplay that you will find on any standard Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. There's a Donkey Kong remix that the same guy that helped me program this, well, he programmed it. I helped create it by doing the design to the point where on the high scoreboard you get 12 letters instead of three, because three was never enough.
Sure.
A lot of us liked the Williams games because if you get first place, you'd have 12 letters to write whatever you want or whatever name. And the top three scores on the Williams machines with the battery pack, the top three scores on the machine would stay on that machine forever until they get reset by the arcade owner or whoever owns the machine. So that was really good. And that was the idea that Eugene Jarvis had when he was one of the whiz kids designing for Williams, was he knew the scores mattered.
Sure.
Well, Nintendo's marketing idea was they wanted you to come in at 10 in the morning when the arcade opens and the high score is only 7650 on Donkey Kong, so that people that show up early to the arcade can get the high score on the machine. I mean, they're both valid marketing plans. I just think the second one with Nintendo is cheesy because every day the machine is 7650.
Yeah.
And everyone can pretty much beat that score and feel good about themselves, which was the idea behind Nintendo doing it that way. But it doesn't show who's
Who's
the
the
best on that
best?
machine. And it shows who's the best until somebody shows up who's better.
Right.
And you can get 30,000 and you're the best that day.
Right.
Cool. It still doesn't mean that 30, I mean, because 30,000 is, I'm not pro level. Well, I guess I would be a pro level. I've never kill screen Donkey Kong. I've never gotten more than like 210,000. Lately, it's hard for me to get 100,000 because the third springboards is a really, really hard level. That's like the seventh or eighth screen in, I think. I've never liked Donkey Kong because I didn't like the graphics because they look like home graphics because Nintendo famously made their arcade games look exactly like the home games. Even though people are like, oh, this home game looks just like the arcade. And I'm like, well, yeah, they're simple graphics. I mean, the only game that I'm really impressed with by Nintendo was a game that I did some gameplay advising, which was called R-Type. R-Type is a fantastic Nintendo game that it's nothing like any of the other Nintendo games. I don't know if you're familiar with
I've
R-Type.
never played it.
Yeah, well, I didn't say it was successful in the. I told him it wouldn't be successful because it's a horizontal spaceship shooting game where you collect a pod that attaches to your ship. Well, most people that play video games are going to shoot everything they can, and they're not going to realize they're bumping into it because that would usually kill you
Yeah,
in every game that came out before then, for the most part. So unless you read the instructions or watched somebody play it, you didn't know how to play the game.
yeah,
And nobody in America in '86 was reading how to play games.
sure,
If you play the game 2 or 3 times, you wouldn't understand it. It would kick your ass, and you'd walk away.
sure.
R-Type, I'm sure in Japan it did really, really well because in Japan the culture is people would read the instructions.
Yeah,
I mean, being a gamer, I would walk up and back in '87, if I had never seen the game, I'd play it 2 or 3 times before I read the instructions. But then I would read the instructions or watch somebody else and get better at it.
sure.
A lot of people would just walk away because they were embarrassed because they sucked. They're kind of like Dragon's Lair. If you don't know what you're doing, it's not a fun game.
It reminds me of Tamiki Fighters. Have you ever heard of Tamiki Fighters?
No, I feel like I should have though.
It's it was in like the like 2010ish, 2000, no, maybe like 2007ish.
Yeah.
This guy was it Kenta Cho is like he made a lot of shmups, and one of them is Tamiki Fighters, where you like when you shoot it's like block, it's like toy fighters, and when you shoot them, they connect to your ship, and you pile up like a ton of other ships connected to you, and that was your R type
Oh,
reminded me of that.
yeah. It sounds like Osmodeus or that kind of. There's some 2010, 2012 Microsoft 360 shoot 'em ups
Yeah,
that I think should have totally been. I mean, Rezon, Rezon
right.
was um, I think that was a, I think that was a Microsoft. I don't know. There were some live action arcade games. There was one. I think Razan looked totally like a reboot and a recreation of Defender, but done well because it had each week you had different challenges and you had different scoreboards you were trying to get, and you had different. It was actually trying to build a community of people that cared about the game.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Nintendo was doing in 2006. I mean, Microsoft was doing something called Game Room, where they actually would sell you the arcade cabinet in not virtual reality because it wasn't really virtual reality at that point, but in the game you'd go into the game room and you would have a virtual arcade. I hate using the word virtual. You would have an arcade platform that you could actually physically walk around and walk your character around and place arcade machines in
Right, yeah, the
various
little people they
locations.
had. I remember the little people.
Yeah, the little people they had in game room. And that was fantastic. You know, they got the rights for the Konami games and they got the rights for some of the Atari 2600 games. And I think they did 9 game packs. But then also one of the game packs they charged for a game called Venetian Blind, and it was just a Venetian blind. You push a button and the blind would go up. You push a button, the blind would go down. That's a tech demo.
Sure.
Like, what are you guys doing charging $3 for this thing that you're calling a game that nobody's seen before?
Yeah.
Because Venetian Blind to me could have been like a blind kung fu guy, I guess.
Right, yeah, I don't know.
From, I don't, it made everyone curious, like, what the hell is Venetian Blind? So everyone bought it. And then they're like, wait, that's not a game.
I got
You
tricked.
push a button. What?
Whoops.
Well, and I think we all felt like we got tricked because at that point I was buying because they had bizarre, I mean, they had a Batlantis, which has never shown up on any console or anything. Batlantis was basically um, Mongolians acting as space invaders in a Space Invader very set format, and if you didn't shoot them in the right order, they come down and hit you with their knife.
Hmm.
It was a weird Mongolian medieval version of Space Invaders, and it's called Batlantis. I mean, you'll see it when you look it up if you're looking it up. And I've never seen it in the arcade ever, and I would have said that it never existed, but it was exactly a late '80s Konami type of game. You know, they did Legendary Wings, they did I mean, Capcom and them, they did Sun, and I mean, game, the game room thing that Microsoft did, I think they were just, they didn't, they should have offered prizes for the highest scores. You know
True.
what I mean? Like
Yeah,
actual,
I
like,
think there's a legal like if you do that, it's kind of like a betting thing, isn't it? Isn't that gambling? And then you've got to like do all the
well, but if you can prove that it's skill based, it's not gambling. I mean, look at the pinball tournaments all over the world now in the
yeah.
pinball league. That
Yeah,
just started 16 years
but for a
ago.
while there were problems with it. Like pinball machines, like for a while you couldn't even have pinball machines in like places that had alcohol.
Well, that ended in '73
Right.
with Roger Sharp, who's a person, he's part of Stern Pinball. Um, and his son's Josh. Josh actually runs the Pinball League now, the IFPL, um, International Pinball Flipper League, I think is the name of it. Um, yeah, no, I mean, he went to the Supreme Court of New York and proved on a physical pinball machine that he could aim at something and hit it. So he proved that there was skill involved.
Yeah.
Before 1973, all pinball machines, a lot of them didn't have flippers. A lot of the bingo pinball machines
Right. Well, there's
that still
pachinko.
people think,
Pachinko is not skill based.
yes, it is.
Oh, it is. I thought pachinko was just like you just push the button and it just drops
The way
balls.
people play it in America because they don't have the skill. It's not skill based.
Oh, okay.
Pachinko is you get paid out in most of Asia when you play pachinko. You don't necessarily get paid out by the location, but if you if you buy like 100 balls and you turn in 500 balls, you get like a certain like a pencil with a certain color eraser on it, and you go down the corner around the street and actually get paid out.
Interesting.
So I mean, so I think that's kind of, but they do that with the weird horse, little tiny horse racing, anti-gravity, like arcade camera. It's just, they deal with, but I know people that can play pachinko, and it depends on the machine of what they're doing, but it's not just hitting, not just shooting the ball. Sometimes it's shooting the ball in timing so that two of the balls hit each other at the same time when they careen off of each other. I have a 1958 bingo pinball machine called Valley Hi-Fi. It actually has flipper buttons, but no flippers. What the flipper button does is it violently shakes the machine so that if the ball is going in one of the 36 holes that you don't want it to go into, you use one of your bumps. And you earn bumps based on kind of randomly how many nickels you put into the machine.
Gotcha.
But that's still skill based. I know a guy in Idaho who was 93 about 10 years ago, and I went to his house and I watched him play a bingo pinball machine, and he can call which hole of the 36 he's getting the ball into, and he do it like 80% of the time.
Yeah.
Most people don't have that skill. Kind of like claw machines are skill based.
Sure.
Claw machines also kind of rigged. Some of them actually blow air into the machine specifically at the toy so that if it's dangling there, it will fall. Some of them, they're all set up specifically not to let you win,
Sure.
but they're consistently rigged. Does that make sense? Kind of.
Oh, I know.
I,
I never
I
would
like
do
to
it.
think that I mean, but a lot of redemption games are actually rigged. Rigged. Like you can't win more than twice out of 16 times.
Yeah.
To me, that's giving the illusion of skill based, but it's actually not even gambling because it's rigged.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lawsuit out of Washington D.C. that's trying to get rid of the redemption games in arcades, which
Sure.
is sad because redemption games are what the arcades have been living on for 20 years.
Yeah.
But there's a better way to do it. We could do skill based progressives. We could do my games that cost $1 a game. At the end of the month, you get $50. But yeah, no, what you're saying, I mean, Washington State, we probably couldn't give out $50. It would probably be like a $50 gift card. But if you give out a $50 Amazon gift card,
Yeah.
how much different is that than cash? You
Sure.
know. So
Like
I
I
mean,
would,
there's
I would $50 Amazon gift card. I would spend that so fast it wouldn't. There would be a
you would
problem.
you would rather have that than cash because cash is harder to spend. You actually physically have to go somewhere and hand cash, right?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
like a
So
$50 if you told me you were going to give me a $50 bill or a $50 Amazon gift card, I might even take the $50 Amazon gift card as opposed to a $50 bill.
yeah, because it's worth $50 on Amazon, which is pretty much everywhere.
Right, yeah, I mean
Some
it
places some places won't take a $50 bill at all because it's too big of a bill and they're
right.
counterfeit.
Right.
So
All
yeah, so
right.
that's I mean, because there are people that say that arcade games and pinball are not skill based,
Right.
but people before 2003, well, before 2003, realistically, people were saying that poker was gambling and not skill based. And in 2003, they started doing the stuff with the Texas Hold'em with the two cards and proving that there's some luck involved, but there's luck involved in life.
Right.
That doesn't mean that life is gambling.
Sure.
I think life is skill based, and you have your yeah. Let's go back to that. Um, yeah, people have certain skill sets that they learn, like the movie Taken. You know, that's one of the best scenes in any revenge movie.
Sure.
With Liam Neeson, I think that's what he's going to be known for more than anything. He's done hundreds of films.
Well, I liked him in Naked Gun. I thought that was really good. That's my favorite Liam
Yeah.
Neeson film.
Did you see Bob Odenkirk in Nobody?
That was good too. Yeah. I
Well,
saw
I mean,
Nobody too. They made a sequel.
with the same guy?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's good. It's a
Well, because
little
I just know Bob Odenkirk from the Mr. Show,
right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the
Mr.
Mr.
Show
Show
was
comedy thing that he did that I thought was brilliant.
yeah.
But Bob Odenkirk's done a lot of things, but I just didn't see him as an action star until I saw Nobody. I mean, it's not District 9, which I think is one of the best action movie type things. Because District 9 actually, I think it's District 9. I might be wrong.
That was the
There's
apartheid movie, or it was like they treated the aliens badly, and then they were like put in a they were like warded
put in a
off and
containment zone, sort
right.
of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like some people think the Earth is,
Yeah. Right.
to let us figure it out. Yeah, but they use a lot of parkour and a lot of like the running movement, escaping from like jumping over buildings and things. It was one of the first movies I've seen where they actually used parkour as an element in the movie
There's a little bit of
instead of
parkour in The Rip. Speaking of movies, The Rip.
yeah, have
There's
some
some park.
parkour.
There's some parkour. Uh, my wife was like
Well, there was a
parkour.
there was a there was a parkour league, and Seattle actually had a team,
Oh, okay.
and some of the parkour people, because the parkour league I think lasted 2 seasons. I don't know, sponsorship or something issues, but I mean, some of the best parkour people, I think a guy named Ian became like a two-time Ninja Warrior champion because
Okay.
you could see easily how parkour would translate into Ninja Warrior type obstacle course,
Sure. 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 I mean, that's the
which is
inspiration
funny
for it. I
because
would
there's
assume.
there's the whole Takashi obstacle courses in Japan, which is a huge deal. But those are more obstacle courses that they expect you not to finish because of gravity. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, no, the people fail those all the time.
Well, they're supposed to fail those all. They're set up
Right.
specifically to fail them
Right.
because they're laughing at people failing.
Right.
But that happened way before Ninja Warrior. Ninja Warrior, they made the obstacle course doable if you're very athletic and have a lot of skill.
Right.
I like Ninja Warrior much better because it's more realistic that somebody will get to the end.
Sure.
And it's not based on just how funny can we make people fold up like a picnic chair,
Yeah.
which
All right.
I call those. Okay, so has that
Well,
been a good doodle? Your
it's a
doodle's
good
done?
doodle. I finished my doodle. We're about an hour 20, which is a little long, but
Uh,
I think we're getting to the end of the doodle. I have a finished doodle. I'm gonna
yeah, I
post
mean,
it as the
nobody complains
thumbnail.
about something a little bit too long, right?
There you go. I don't think so.
Okay,
I've never had any complaints from me.
I wasn't gonna go there, but that's okay, Mike. But
I made
well,
a
no,
butter
Wicked
joke.
Wicked for Good is way too long. It's like 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. So
Yeah,
no,
Wicked for. I did
Wicked
not
for
like Wicked for Good.
you didn't like what?
Wicked for Good. I like the first Wicked
Oh,
movie.
I hate those Wicked movies. Lily and I make fun of them. They used to play it at Starbucks, the Wicked music. I want to be
Yeah.
your friend. You want to be my friend. Let's all be friends. We're friends, friends. I mean, that was
Well,
and we're
but
like,
I like the idea that it was about perception. And from the Wicked Witch of the West, she wasn't the
right,
bad person at all,
sure,
and that's
sure.
how
It's all
they.
a
I mean,
PR
the book,
game. Fake news.
yeah. But they didn't need a sequel. And there's some things they made the Cowardly Lion an actual digitized lion.
Yeah,
And I'm like, if you're gonna kind of remake Wizard of Oz, give me a human lion.
yeah,
Give me a lion that's cowardly.
I'm the cowardly lion. Ah!
Oh, Mandela Effect. Actually, the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. Did he have any weapons?
I don't think so.
Well, he had an axe,
Oh, okay.
but if you look at it now, he has an axe and a gun.
He has a gun too.
Both.
Interesting.
He has a gun. It's the same color as him.
Oh,
I
interesting.
saw the movie many, many times as a kid, and he never had a gun. But he now has like a pistol
Interesting.
and an axe. Yeah.
Well, I'll probably write that up after we're done. But
Oh, by the way, yeah, we have a website called Mandela.Academy.
Mandela.agency. Mandela.agency.
I thought it was Academy.
No, I have the domain name for Academy, but it's .agency is the
Okay.
domain.
Maybe you should add Academy because I've been telling people I confused the two and I put Mandela.Academy also.
I think I have Mandela.academy redirects to Mandela.agency. So if
Okay, so it is kind of both.
yeah.
I mean, it's not officially both, but it works if you do either one.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Thank you. That kind of plays into the whole multiverse thing, right? Or just people having bad memories.
We'll never know. Apparently, we're not meant to know.
Well, did we talk about the Bible one?
Which
The lion lays down with the lamb.
I don't know that one. I don't know the Bible at all. So I have no
Bible
memory of the Bible, so I can't tell you it changed.
Bible scholars all over who read the Bible voraciously, it's always been the lion lays down with the lamb.
Okay.
It's changed. Everyone's Bible has changed to the wolf lays down with the lamb.
Okay.
Which on many levels just doesn't make sense.
I don't know
That's
anything
okay.
about the Bible, so I don't know.
Is that because you're Jewish?
I mean, that's part of it.
That's part of it. You guys don't really think. Do you not think the Bible's legitimate, or?
I mean, I don't.
Oh.
To me, it's just. I don't think Harry Potter is legitimate either. I mean, it's a book, right?
Yeah. So you don't think the Bible is the Word of God?
I mean,
written by man. I'm not trying to doubt you're religious or anything. I'm not trying to question you about that. I'm just
curious. I mean,
I
I don't think that. What was it written by Moses or whatever? It was written by
yeah.
And then the Christian Bible was rewritten by the Council of Nicaea or whatever, and
King James and all that. I like to think that the first page should have been things that happened in this book that are written about are taken out of context and probably not what actually happened.
Right. Yeah, I gotcha. So it's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, and
it's the game telephone in 2,000 years, and
right, and
that never goes well.
So that's also a problem in terms of being the Word of God, and then also why? So let's say that it was written by Moses or whatever. I don't know who wrote the original Christian. I guess there's John and Paul and all the apostles.
It's not Moses. It's the apostles. Moses. I think it would have more legitimacy if Moses actually wrote things in the Bible.
Right. Well, apparently Moses brought down the scrolls. Right. I mean, that was the Ark of the Covenant.
That's Old Testament. That's the stuff that you know about. Yeah.
So and then the New Testament was like the Gospels.
The four Gospels.
I don't think they were
supposed to be
tellings
about Jesus.
I don't think they were supposed to be the Word of God. They were just people who were blogging about Jesus, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So they said hey guys, I'm the Jesus blogger. I got a new story about Jesus. Here he is cursing a fig tree.
I'm one of his besties. This is what I think happened.
Right? Yeah, I'm Jesus's bestie. Also, this is brought to you by sandals. Buy some sandals now and walk around. Right?
We could do a TV show based on that, and people would totally hate it or totally love it.
It would. Some people would love it. Some people would hate it. But yeah, I mean, you get my point. Is that why is that story so? Let me just back up a step. Jesus is supposed to be the Son of God. If we're all, aren't we all the children of God, right?
Jesus said he was the Son of Man. It doesn't say in the Bible that he ever said he was the Son of God.
Right. Okay. So anyway, my point is we're all.
I'm agreeing with you. We're all the Son of Man.
Right.
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
We're all God's children.
Right. Yeah. So to some extent, more people have read Harry Potter than they have the Bible. Right. So.
Well, it's a better read.
I understand, and my point is
it's more inclusive.
Right, and so my point is why isn't Harry Potter more of a religion than the Bible is? It was made by a child of man. It was,
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling is very human. She's flawed in a lot of ways.
Oh, she's
And I mean,
transphobic and
right.
horrible
Yeah.
lately.
So she's, and I mean, it's sort of, I feel like she's playing that up just so that she gets attention, which is really annoying. Anyway, that's a tangent. My point
Yeah.
is that, why is Harry Potter less of a religious script than the Bible when more people like it and everyone's human? I mean, we don't like it's not, no one's claiming that God like zapped a lightning bolt and like this book just appeared magically in front of, like, I mean, I guess the guy who did the Mormonism, the Mormon
Yeah.
guy is making that claim that like the book magically appeared in front of him. But other than Mormonism, I don't think that anyone's
It
claiming
appeared
that,
in a hat that nobody else could see anything
right,
into.
right, a magical stone that could see these golden plates that no one could see, that no one
Well, but
actually.
Moses supposedly the commandments were like that, and nobody else can see them.
Well, did they? I thought he said he carved them based on a dream or something, right? No,
He brought him down from the mountain.
and God carved them with a lightning bolt or something.
I guess that's a pretty fancy lightning bolt that can do etching of like
Well,
10 rules.
laser etching is a very popular. I mean, there's laser etching, right?
Yeah, yeah. Was that in Moses' day? I mean,
I mean,
I think taking things literally in the Bible is the biggest mistake that Christians make, because I don't think Abraham lived 400 years and Moses lived 800 years.
right. Well,
I think they
that's
were not good with clocks, if that's actually what happened.
right.
Or their
Well,
watches stopped,
right.
maybe. I mean, that sounds silly and blasphemous, but
Right. Well,
whatever. I mean,
anyway,
if there is a God, let him strike me down dead now.
right.
Okay, I'm not dead, so.
Right. Well, or maybe God just doesn't like striking people down. Maybe that's a different department.
But he did that a lot in his vengeful Old Testament days.
Well, he got over it. I mean,
He,
he's grown up. He's grown.
but wouldn't he know? Because if he's omnipotent and knows everything past, present, and future, wouldn't he know that it would kind of
Well, so
behoove him to behoove him to make a female? He
God
made
is a
Adam, and then Adam got lonely. He had already made all the animals and knew that they were, mated and different genders, right?
God is a deeply flawed individual who needed a lot of emotional growth before
Oh, I
he
thought he was
was
supposed to
ready.
be, according to the Bible, he's supposed to be perfect.
Well, he's deeply flawed and
Okay,
perfect at the same time.
so he's perfectly flawed.
He's perfectly flawed.
I'm probably glad that this isn't part of the podcast
Oh
anymore.
no,
Or
we're
is
still
it?
streaming.
Okay, well,
So I'm
okay.
going to stop now because we this is a hot take that's too hot for the internet. Now our conversation is too deadly for the internet. Goodbye,
It,
everyone.
it might get you a lot more viewers, not that you care about that.
I
It
mean,
might
hey,
get
listen, I like viewers. I
we
care
might
about
we
that.
might
I
get our
care
first
about viewers. What do you mean? We'll
we might
sell.
get our first comment.
Yeah, there you go. We get it. Nice to get a comment. If you feel
If,
this is blasphemy, write a comment. And we're
or
also
if
going to
you like
sell.
it and want us to write want us to talk more about these kind of subjects instead of Kit
Right,
Kats and
right,
Mandela effects.
right. And we're also going to
I'd
sell.
be up for whatever, because everything that I'm saying is just my opinion. I'm not trying to say anyone else is wrong.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
don't.
saying I think last take, more people on this planet have been killed in the name of Jesus than any other religion that I know of.
Sure.
That doesn't mean Christianity is bad. I just think using it as your
Sure.
vindication for why you're killing other people
Well,
is not
it
what. Now,
it
if
has to
Jesus
do with
existed,
rationality, right? Like if you can like take a contradiction and say that's the reason why I'm doing things, then you go down a dark path pretty fast, because then all of a sudden it's what you feel you should do as opposed to what you know you should do.
well, the Nazis consider themselves Christian, right?
Yeah, there
And
were absolutely, the Christians were the master race. They were chosen by God. Or I don't know if they were chosen by God. I don't know about that. But I know that they were the
but
master race. They were better. They were
they
just better.
considered themselves the master race.
Right.
I mean, like I said, they consider themselves Christian, right? They were not Christian, right? Because they were killing millions of people,
Right.
disabled people, people of color,
Right.
gypsies, Jews. I mean, people usually harken on just the Jews, but there was anyone that didn't agree with what they were doing were being killed.
Right. That's
Y-
totalitarianism in general. Like, I mean, and
Yeah,
Stalin killed a ton of people who disagree with him too.
Pol
Like
Pot.
he
Pol Pot
killed
did the same thing.
he killed people who were like, if you just told a bad joke at a cocktail party, he would kill you.
Serious?
Oh yeah, Stalin. That was. I mean, he
I
would.
want to know those. I want to know what those bad jokes would have been because that
I mean, it's
sounds
sort
really
of like
cool.
you make fun of someone for some political reason, and you're like, oh well, he's an idiot because this decision was stupid. Like it was dangerous to say opinions like that because like if you
He would
say,
immediately
oh
kill people.
right, whoever organized the chairs like this is an idiot, and it turns out that Stalin's the one who organized the chairs. Uh-oh, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're in
Wow.
trouble.
I don't know
You're
much
in
about
big
Stalin,
trouble.
but doesn't that kind of feel like what's happening currently with our current leader?
Well, I that might be too hot for me to even touch, but yeah, that's the way I feel. I think he's a very authoritarian. He's the most authoritarian president we've ever had.
As far as we know.
I mean, I guess maybe if we I
Well,
haven't.
I mean, Washington could have been totally authoritarian, but it was framed differently because of history.
Well,
I mean,
okay, fine.
he did have what 3 or 4 terms of office,
I think he
and
only.
they
I thought
did,
he
and
only
they
had
did
two. I thought he did two, and then he was done.
Washington. I think he was the one that did more than two, and they actually wanted him to be king, and they said we don't really want to do that. We kind of came away from England so that we could elect people.
Right? Yeah, I
He was the
know.
voice of reason at that point, I think, but I
I
think
thought
he
that
did more than 2 terms
I thought that that was like a great
and didn't.
moment in history where he said like, no, I'm not going to rule for life
Yeah,
because that's the
yeah,
whole
but I think he
point.
did more than two. But I think he did more than 2 terms.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I don't know.
I
I
mean,
don't know the
I think
details.
Roosevelt did 2.5 or
Right.
something, or somebody else did more than 2 terms
Right.
because they took over after somebody died or something.
Right.
I don't know. I'm glad that there's a 2 term limit, and it doesn't matter if they're successive or not.
Here's a hot take. I think that Supreme Court judges should have a maximum span of 12 years. Like you should, if you're a Supreme Court judge, you can be a Supreme Court judge for 12 years tops, and then after 12 years, you're done. That's my
It shouldn't be for life.
that's my opinion. There you go.
I
Take it
don't
to
think
the
it's a
bank,
hot
everyone.
take. I agree that they shouldn't be Supreme Court justices for life.
Yeah.
I,
I
I,
mean,
I don't.
I don't think you should do like every. I don't think you should have to reelect them every. So like, I don't think there should be any kind of reelection. I think it should just be a flat
Well,
limit. 12
they
years
haven't
tops. You're
they
done.
haven't been elected in 40 years. They've
I
been
understand. That's
appointed
my
by the
point.
president.
I don't like elections for judges, but
Yeah. Well, they're not elected. They were appointed.
yeah. But my thing is the appointment should only last 12 years, and then you're fired. They shoot you out of a cannon, and you're done.
Yeah. And they shouldn't
Because like
they shouldn't wait to appoint a new one for the next president to come in.
right. Well,
Because
that's another thing is that like they block them until the next president comes in, which is that's very bad
yeah,
because it makes it
that's
very
lame.
political.
Of course it does.
And like I mean, I understand like it should it should be there should be a specific time like it is you're done 12 years, and if they don't appoint someone within 3 months of when your term is up, then there's you get they just fire everyone and they just start the government over from scratch.
That sounds well. What about this hot take? How about America should make all drugs legal
Oh yeah,
and have
you're
and have dispensaries?
I don't agree
Have,
with
have
that.
dis-
I think only losers winners don't do drugs. That's what I think. Winners don't do
no,
drug. Thanks
no. I
Nancy
agree,
Reagan.
and I'm not necessarily even being pro drug. I'm just saying it would get rid of the drug cartels and all the crimes people are doing to get their money for drugs.
Yeah, that's true.
If they were dispensed and not dispensed enough that they could overdose,
Yeah, but
so that way.
yeah, but so that's the problem is that like when marijuana became legal, the ERs were full of kids who had psychotic issues with the marijuana. And like it was not good that marijuana was legal. I mean, I know listen, I voted to legalize marijuana, but like it like people were going psychotic like crazy because it was like it causes psychosis in some people.
There was a transition period when pot wasn't legal to when it was legal, that they were still using the pot that the drug dealers were making and growing. Now that we've had legal marijuana for I think 10 or 15 years recreationally here in Washington State, it's very, very specifically not the type of marijuana that's going to make you psychotic.
Well,
Now, that could have been that it was kids under 18 who shouldn't have been smoking it anyway, smoking more than they should.
I don't
Does that
know.
make sense?
All I know is my sister works in an ER, and they get psych admissions for people who are on marijuana, but
Yeah.
that's just from a doctor. I don't, I don't know.
But no, but that could be marijuana that's laced with PCP. That could be marijuana, and you know what I mean. If it's
Sure,
not,
I
it
guess.
wasn't regulated as that. I mean, I don't think the ER cases of marijuana currently are nearly what they were when it first gets legalized in each state.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'll have to ask her whether it's gone down since it originally was legalized. I'll have to ask that because I don't know. All I know is that when
I
it
mean,
was legalized, it skyrocketed. Now, I don't know how, I don't know whether it's
well, it was
gone
skyrocketed
down.
because a lot more people would be using it.
I
Maybe.
don't know. All I know is that, from a doctor's point of view, the amount of psychic missions of people who had smoked marijuana when marijuana was legal went way up. Now, right? Did it go back down later because they cleaned out all the drugs and they got rid of all of the bad drugs? I don't know. I'll have to ask my sister that because she works as an ER doctor and
Yeah, because I've never seen people that I know that do pot to be psychotic
right. Well,
about anything. I mean,
well,
it doesn't seem to be a
it causes psychosis in some people. It
yeah, it
depends
might.
on
I
your
mean,
genetics. I mean, it depends on it depends on a lot of things, but it there are a lot of people who start going crazy when they take pot.
well, crazy is a perceptive thing, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
crazy like in the clinical sense of they need to be hospitalized for craziness. But I mean, I listen, I know you guys are all. I know there's a lot of people. I had one person I was talking to was like, "If you don't try pot, you're a horrible person." Like this person was like
No,
so
no,
angry at me at like
yeah.
like if you don't try pot, you should go to
Well, I
hell.
mean, do
It
you
was
consider
like,
alcohol, which is probably the worst drug in America? Do you
oh, I
think
do alcohol.
alcohol
Sugar
being a drug?
sugar is worse than cocaine in terms of addiction, right? Like
So, do you consider alcohol a drug?
I don't consider it a drug, but I mean, I guess
It's worse than most drugs. It causes more death when people get served too much and then go drive.
I mean yeah, so yeah, I'm not a fan of drugs in general, but
I mean,
again,
I think sugar is more of a drug than cocaine.
yeah, I think sugar is more addictive than cocaine. I think that's true.
It's more of a drug. So, calling alcohol and sugar a drug also, but then winners don't do drugs. I mean, I live on candy bars.
Right.
Does that make me not a winner?
I don't know, man. Do you feel like a winner when you eat a candy bar?
Well, candy bars calm me down.
Okay.
I have ADHD and autism, and sugar and caffeine help me go to sleep.
Yeah.
They seriously they calm me down. They don't wire me up at all,
Yeah.
which is based on my I don't know my physiology of my mind and my body, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I think that I think that there are some people who there has to be interventions of some kind in their lives. Interventions either as a medical or as a legal thing. That like there are people who are really killing themselves with drugs, and there has to be a mechanism by which someone can step in and say like, look, you have to go to AA or you have to go to whatever
Yeah,
treatment. So
but
so I you know
I also think there are people that kill themselves with sugar and caffeine,
I think that's true too, and I think those
and there
people
should
need to
be
have interventions
interventions for
too.
those too.
I
Okay.
agree with you. I
It's
think
like
if someone,
you weigh more than 400 pounds. That's not healthy. We need to intervene and stop you from weighing that much.
I agree with you. I agree with that too. I think that there should be
I mean,
I'm oh
I don't know what an unhealthy weight is, but here in
right
America, I would say
four
if you're more
400
than
pounds
400 pounds, that's
is
pretty safe
right is
to say
yeah
that you're unhealthy. I mean, unless you're like a football linebacker,
yeah
but those are usually like 330, 350,
even
and
then
they're
it's
doing it very
it's
specifically for their or sumo wrestlers.
right
There's some exceptions, but
right yeah
my son was up to almost 600 pounds at one point.
right yeah
Um,
something needs to be done in that situation because you're gonna die.
yeah,
So anyway, I'm a center left guy, so I'm big government. I think you should tax and spend, take a lot of taxes, spend a lot of money, and make a big giant government. That's me. I'm a
But
liberal.
do you think,
The
well,
government
that
nanny
doesn't
state.
sound great.
I want to be a baby, and I want to have the government come in and feed me my bottle every day. That's what I want.
Do you want them to pay for your medical? Because people say that's socialism and
I
socialized.
absolutely believe in socialized medicine.
I
I
think
think that
socialized medicine isn't socialism at all. I think
well,
socialized medicine is
whatever,
what
however you want to put
first
it,
world countries
state-run
have.
medicine, however you want to. I don't care. Whatever it is, there should be a public healthcare option. There should be a. You should be able to just get healthcare, just like in all of the. What is it? Europe has it all. Canada has it.
Every first world country except us.
Yeah, so it seems like we're behind on that one. I feel like, as you know, you talk about America's supposed to be great. Well, I
But
feel
I also
like
think that we should have, well, we're the only ones that are told that because everyone else knows better.
right,
And this is me being an ex-army person. I was
right,
in the army. So
right,
I'm very much for the ideas of what America is supposed to stand for, but I
right,
don't see us do. I think if we were the best country, we would not have any homeless people who
right,
don't have shelter or food
right. Well,
because
also,
that
you
would
know,
be
the homeless
pretty
issue
easy to
also is a
fix.
mental health issue because I think a lot
Of
of the
course it
people who
is.
are homeless are just insane and they literally can't, like, without structure being imposed on their lives, they can't
But I
deal with
also
it.
know homeless people who feel that they're more free than us because they don't have to work for a living
I
and they don't
understand.
mind living it and they don't mind living in a tent.
I
And
understand.
in some ways, they think that we're the ones that are insane because we're making money for what?
Yeah,
Just to collect stuff and have.
I
But I think
understand.
everyone should be. I think everyone, especially the homeless veterans, should have a place to live the rest of their lives and clothing and food.
Right, yeah, but see,
I
that's
think
the thing is
that
that
would make us one of the best countries.
even if you like went into every city and built like a high rise that was like the free high rise for homeless people, there were homeless people who wouldn't go into that building even if you said, like, here you get a free apartment, you get a free, here's the keys, like, and you just, like, they would say no. They
So
wouldn't.
that's not the solution I would have. In Germany, they're doing homeless pods that fit two people, and they open up every day, and at night they close up, and they give you shelter and Wi-Fi, and they should probably give you food. To
Right.
me, that's more of an idea than getting, because a lot of people that are homeless don't like being inside buildings, and they also would question, why are you putting us in this building?
Right.
Like they don't
I
trust the government
I
is the
understand.
reasons. Yeah.
That's my point, is that it's a mental issue in terms of, like, even if you just created a lot of free cheap housing, it would still be an issue because there would be like, I don't trust the housing, I don't want to
There's
be in a
tiny houses
house,
and stuff. Yeah,
I
there's
don't want
tiny
to live in a
houses.
house, I don't want
Well,
to.
like I said, Germany, they're doing like $5,000 a piece for these homeless shelters that they're doing, that they're a pod for two people to get out of the extreme weather so they don't die.
Yeah.
I think that's more the direction that people should be going.
Right.
Or the tube hotels in many parts of Asia,
Right.
like in the movie Ready Player One. I'm sure you've seen that movie.
Sure. Yeah. I thought it was
Yeah.
okay.
The book was better,
Yeah, I'm
but
sure.
nobody else could have done the movie except Spielberg because he had the rights to most of those IPs.
Right.
Like the Back to the Future car, the giant robot,
Right.
all of those. I mean, nobody else could have done the book as much justice as that did. It's supposedly filmed the second one, but I haven't heard anything about that in a while.
Oh,
The
interesting.
book
I'll have to
the
check
book
it
is
out.
better. The book's not even a really well written book, but the book uh, James to the First Key is based on the arcade game Joust and a game called Black Tiger. None of that's mentioned in the movie. If you like arcade games and console games like I do, the book is better than the movie. But I did like the movie parts about The Shining
Right.
and jumping on top of the zombie heads and all that kind of like pattern recognition stuff.
Right.
So that was done in the right idea of the book, but none of that was actually in the book.
Right. Well, I was frustrated by, like, they have all of these people doing adventure as the last game, and it's like you couldn't, like, that was the most obvious secret. Like, everyone knows the adventure Easter egg, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I mean, it's like that would be such a no brainer if you had anyone who's played a video game. Like, everyone would know, do the Easter egg,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, if you take adventure, like if there's a secret that somebody put in somewhere, this is like the first, not the first arcade Easter egg, but the most popular Easter egg inside of a video game is that Easter egg.
Right.
There's an Easter egg in Space Tactics, and there's one in a couple of like late '70s arcade games that people have found more recently. But everyone back in the day at Atari, the people that played that machine would learn eventually that there's that little thing you could bring in through the room and finish the game, and tells you the name of the guy that programmed it, Warren something, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know. It says his name when you bring it back, and they're like, "You have finished the game,"
Right.
because you go into that secret room and find that little, yeah. Um, it's cool, but they should have more expressed that they're trying to finish every 2600 game to find secrets or find something that because he was hiding a virtual egg somewhere. They should have made it more that it wasn't just about adventure. And I mean, people would fail, but it implied in the movie that they were failing doing something with the game adventure. And it actually, in the book, it was like they were trying to finish every 2600 game to find if there's anything secret that Halliday had left there.
Oh, okay. So
They didn't explain it. They didn't explain it very well.
Gotcha. In the movie, they were just all playing adventure and playing it wrong, and it's sort of like, why don't you just do the Easter egg for adventure? What is wrong with you people?
And how are those dragons? They look like ducks.
Right. Well, we all know that.
I mean, they weren't. Those aren't dragons. I mean, that's like saying it. I don't know. I mean, dinosaur wasn't even invented as a word until 1840.
Yeah.
Before then, the both the people were finding, they were calling them dragons. Maybe they were dragons.
Who knows, right? Yeah, you're the one who believes that dragons are real. But my headset is dying.
I believe the dragons might have been real.
Listen, anything might have been real.
Well, okay. Jesus might have been real. Jesus might have been real.
Might have been real. Might have not been real. I don't know.
I think we have more proof on dragons than we do of Jesus.
Donald Rumsfeld might have been real. Might not have been real. You don't know.
A lot of us remember that he existed as an entity of some sort.
But he might not be real. You don't know.
You think he might have been an animatronic?
Maybe it was just a false memory implanted in us by government spores.
You're getting into Blade Runner territory now.
Yeah. Maybe we're all we just want blue skies on Mars.
We are organic meatbags, is what I reference all the time.
Was it Total Recall? That's what I'm thinking. Total Recall, where they implant the whole personality in him.
And the TV series Total Recall was actually based on Blade Runner, but they couldn't get the name right, so they called it Total Recall.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't see the series. I want to see the series of Total Recall because supposedly it's a really good retelling of Blade Runner.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm cutting us off. We're done. Goodbye, everyone. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. We went super long.
Goodbye,
Everyone. Just the way the ladies like it.
Extended director's cut
Extended, uncut, long, juicy podcast. All right. See you all later.
With narration by